Where were the Jews for 1,000 years? From the year 1000 to 1900.
Very simple answer.
Yes.
So
where were they? Where was the 90% of the Jewish population?
What's the date range? Just give me the dates again.
Let's say 900 to 1900, 1,000 years.
So 900 to 1900.
1900.
So I would it changed because the majority of them began to be in Ashkenaz in Europe. But you're talking the earlier history when they were
for 1,000 years. 90% of the Jewish people where were they?
So they were living where they lived before the advent of Islam. Yeah, they were living in the Middle East. They were living in Spain. They were living in Morocco. They were living.
According to Bernard Lewis, again a Jewish history.
Babylon. So 900.
Iraq, Yemen, Egypt, North Africa, even India, Mughal India, and post-Mughal India. Yeah, very few, no doubt. Turkey. Okay, so Joseph is actually confirming that over 90%. I mean, according to Bernard Lewis, over 90% of the Jewish people for 1,000 years lived under the domain of Islam. Why? Why were they not escaping to Africa, for example?
That's not true.
No. If they don't want to go to Christian Europe, I can understand because they were being let me finish.
Sorry.
They were being accused of dicide. Dicide is killing of God. The Jews were persecuted heavily throughout Europe and European history for killing God, Jesus Christ. Okay, and the books,
just killing the
and
prophets.
the Talmud was burnt in public. In the 13th century, after the Fourth Lateran Council of 1215, and many examples. In fact, the reason why the Jews welcomed the Muslim forces as liberators was the Fourth Council of Toledo. The Fourth Council of Toledo, which was held in 633, a year after the Prophet of Islam's death. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, died in 632. 633, there was a Catholic council held in Toledo, in the city of Toledo in Spain, where it was decreed by the Catholic Church that all the Jewish people have to give away their children to the Catholic Church to be raised as Catholics. So the Jewish children were forcefully converted into Christianity. When the Muslims came in 711, literally, let's say, almost 80 years after this incident, the Jews welcomed them as liberators, according to Zion Zohar, another Jewish historian, right? So all of this put together, we see that the Jewish people were happy under Muslim rule. How do we know that? By looking at their testimonies, which I have already quoted earlier, from place to place, person to person. Jewish rabbis are saying, we are happy, we are pleased, our living standards are even better than theirs, the Muslims.
I've got to go in like 2 minutes. Address the question
which
why
was
the Jews flee.
after. Now, why did the Jewish people leave the Muslim lands? The doing of Israel. Because what happened was, when the Zionists took over after the British Mandate, they took over the land of Palestine and they conducted massacres of innocent Palestinians. There was a backlash. You know what brothers like Joseph failed to understand, or possibly deliberately failed to acknowledge, is the political milieu, the political situation of the Middle East at the time. Okay, Muslims didn't suddenly wake up one day and say, okay, hold on a second, we're going to go for all the Jews now. No, it doesn't work like that. They had 1,000 years to do it. They had 1,000 years to do it when they had armies like Mamelukes, the Ottomans. You know what the Ottomans were? Do you know their military strength? You know what they had? You have no idea. They besieged Vienna, thousands of miles away from Constantinople. You're telling me they couldn't see the Jews at home, right at the doorstep? They could see them, right? What happened in 1940s is the question. Why suddenly all the Jewish people started to leave Muslim lands? Because they were blaming the Zionists, like Orthodox Jews from Stamford Hill and Golders Green today are daily and nightly condemning the Zionists for doing things in their name which they completely disown. And we cherish these Jewish brothers and sisters who are great people, who are simply disowning the Zionists like we the Muslims disown ISIS, right? ISIS equals Zionists, okay? And speaking against the atrocities of the Zionists against the Palestinian people is not anti-Semitism, because there are I have Jewish friends, they are not Zionists, and they condemn all the atrocities against the Palestinian people, right? So this is what happened in the 1940s.
Okay.
A context, a historic context which is not acknowledged. So why did they suddenly wake up? So this is what happened. That's why many of these Jewish people started to leave Muslim lands, because they could see what was happening in Palestine at the time is going to have an impact on their lives. So they started to leave for lands where they felt safe, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them, and they were doing what was best for them. And to this day, we have nothing but a feeling of sympathy, a feeling of love and compassion towards the Jewish people, despite all the atrocities in
this brother Gad.
So what's going on? How are you?
Thank you.
He
I'm
came
fine.
just to say how are you.
I'm
He's
fine.
Jew, by the way. How are you?
He's Jewish.
Okay. Yeah, he's Jewish, and he is anti-Israel. That's one of the things.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
That's one of the
What a timely, what a timely entry.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
So he's got that.
As well, he is well learned about history. He's well learned about many things about
Right.
all
So
the
at least I don't look like.
I've
At least
literally got to go.
At least I
You
don't look.
said 2 minutes ago.
Okay.
I'm just going to make my closing.
Oh, wait.
closing
My
comments.
final statement, and then you can come in, Joseph. So, as I said, to emphasize the point, we have nothing but a feeling of sympathy, love, and compassion towards the Jewish people. In fact, the Constitution of Medina, the document agreed upon between the Prophet of Islam and the Jewish people of Medina, it states, the final sentence is that Muslims are commanded to extend a hand of sympathy towards the Jewish people, right? This is exactly what we believe in. We were never an enemy of the Jewish people. We will never be the enemy of the Jewish people. Politics, circumstances, geopolitical events can change feelings from time to time, from place to place. That doesn't mean that Muslim civilization is anti-Semitic. It is not. It has never been so.
So
Thank you.
perfect. So there's someone. Okay, let's just close off, Ali, and then you can jump
No,
in.
but why you didn't want him to speak a bit?
My wife rang me like an hour ago, told me I needed to go home.
So one thing, that do you agree the development of the state was unnecessary? Was not only unnecessary, it was wrong.
So I'm going to answer the question, but I'm just going to make my closing points to this debate, and then I'll address that.
So by the way, this is a Jewish brother against another Jewish brother.
Not
This Jewish
against him, I'm not
not
fighting.
against, not against. Sorry,
I
no,
don't
no.
agree to it.
Disagreeing with him. Disagreeing. Sorry, do apologize. Disagreeing with Joseph on the issue of Israel and the creation of Israel. Okay.
So Adnan mentioned that the reason there are no Jews left in the Middle East, the reason the Jews fled the Muslim world, 850,000 Jews ran for their life, was
Way
because
more,
of modern.
way more than 850,000.
No, 850,000
In
from
the
the Arab world.
1700s, over 1 million Jews living in Turkey.
You're missing.
So do you think it was due to the creation of the state of Israel?
Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
Stop.
No, I-
850,000 Jews fled the Arab world with the
When?
advent of Israel, 1948. That's what we're talking. That's
Why-
the reference point.
why is
This is the reference
why
point.
do you think
Right.
that
You're
happened?
jumping
Why?
ahead.
Why?
So,
Why?
so this is what we're getting to. This
Right,
is
go
what
on,
we're
get
getting
there.
What do you think?
I tell you what happened because.
Stop. Can I make my point?
Very quick. Let him make. You can make
Let
your
me make
point.
my point.
Yes.
Then you can listen to my
No,
point.
but I want to.
and then
I
you
want
can
to hear his
respond.
So
perspective.
make
No,
your point.
Adnan,
that
Adnan, you don't control the debate. I listen to you respectfully.
Okay.
You listen to me respectfully. That's how it works.
Okay.
You
Make
don't
your
invite
point.
someone in.
And let him make his point.
Okay,
Make your point.
please,
Make your point.
Make your point.
So, 850,000 Jews fled the Muslim world. As I mentioned before, there are now 3,000 Jews living in the Arab world, almost all of them in Morocco. There are more Jews in Boreham Wood Synagogue than there are in the entire Arab world today. Now, Adnan's explanation for that was because of the advent of Israel, the state of Israel.
100%
Zionism. So I want to bring some examples.
This brother is saying it's 100% true.
And this, just like you have Muslims who have disagreements, you have Jews that have disagreements.
Okay.
That's fine. That's the beautiful of a people. You
so-
don't all
so-
agree.
So I am not anti-Semitic, right?
I don't believe you're anti-Semitic.
thank
I've never
you.
said that at
Thank
all.
you
I
for
think it's
that.
the
Go
opposite.
on, give me some reasons for that. I'll tell you why.
So what I'm going to do is give you an example of Muslim persecution throughout the ages.
Go on.
So in 1066, as you rightfully identified, thousands of Jews were
So
slaughtered.
you're
in
gonna
Cordoba.
do a shot? No. Wait. Before you do,
I didn't interrupt you.
no,
Adnan.
Joseph,
Can I-
you cannot do machine gun tactics and run away. You're gonna stay here to hear my responses,
Give me the
right?
great.
But are you
these
gonna
our
stay-
closing comments?
No.
That's not closing
You-
That's
you-
not closing comment. You're
that's the
bringing
beginning.
facts.
So guys, listen. Look what happens the minute I open my mouth.
No,
look how they respond.
Joseph.
No.
You're gonna do machine gun tactics. You're gonna throw things and you're
Of
going
course
to
there
run
was.
away.
Of course, can I say something?
no.
I'm new to the debate. Can I say one thing? Of course there was fights between the Muslims and the Jews, but there wasn't mass persecution.
Okay, so
when
stop
Herzl went
waggling
round,
your finger at me.
Okay,
Calm down.
When Herzl ran around saying he's going to take over the land of Israel, yeah, for irreligious purposes, when he said to do, that's when the Jews in the Arab world started feeling nervous that the Arabs are going to resent this, and they did because.
So can I just make my point? Can I make my point, and
Yeah.
then you can make your point?
Just interrupt me in the middle, but go on. Yeah, go
No,
on.
because you interrupted me.
Yeah.
I was reading out
No,
something, and then you
but
both
if you're
started.
about to read all these dates and chronologies,
That's what
and
takes
if you
another
think
day.
that if you think that they're going to make your point stronger by putting,
By pointing out massacres of Jews in Muslim
but we have
land.
already acknowledged.
So
But
I
why,
want-
why
I
would
want
you
the-
do this machine gun
There was
tactic at
way
the end?
more massacres of
Right?
Jews in
You
Christian
could have
land.
you could have
There
brought
was-
this earlier.
I agree.
Way more massacres of Jews
agree.
in Christian. There was never a Holocaust in Christian.
I agree.
In Muslim countries.
I agree.
Okay,
There was
can
never
you?
anything.
I agree.
There was
So
a
calm
few.
down.
There was a
Calm
few
down.
stated.
You've
Okay,
come here with
I think-
such
I
anger.
think-
No, I haven't.
That's
Actually,
okay. Calm down,
worked
Akhi.
out.
Calm down. Calm down.
So
So
what?
can I, Adnan, don't dictate. Let me make. See what's happening.
My
He's
request
trying
is
to
you're going to
close
have
down the
to
debate.
stay. My request is you're going to
So
have to
I
stay.
will stay for your
Make your point. You're going to stay to listen to my response.
But you'll do it quickly. I'll do mine quickly. I'll go through here machine gun style, like you say, and then you can do yours.
No, but
Yeah,
why?
no
Why?
problem.
Why
No
would
problem,
you?
no
Okay.
problem.
Okay, this is ridiculous. I could have made my point already. So, 1146, basically the Almohads slaughtered Jews, as we both agreed.
have talked about it.
in Morocco.
Yes.
Yep. 1232, the Jews were slaughtered in Marrakesh. 1240 Jews, the Jews were slaughtered in Meknes. 1275, 40 Jews slaughtered in Fez.
Al-Mahad, all
Keep
Al-Mahad,
going, keep
all-
going.
all- no, no,
12,
all Al-Mahad.
1290, Jews slaughtered, Baghdad slaughtered. 1465, the entire community
1240.
of
Keep going,
Fez,
keep
the
going.
Jews are community. 1492, Abd al-Karim al-Maghili
jumping centuries.
destroys. Yeah, because I'm going through chronology.
Okay, so what
The
happened in
synagogues of
between?
1517, Ottomans rape and massacre the Jews of Hebron, as we established. 1736, the Jews of Algiers are massacred. 1776, the Jews of Basra in Iraq are massacred. 1785 in Tripoli, in Libya, hundreds of Jews who refused to convert to Islam are massacred. 1790, Sultan Yazid ordered the murder and rape of dozens of Jews in Tetuan, Morocco. 1805, Muslims massacre 500 Jews in the Algerian city of Algiers. 1815, Muslims burn 8 Jews at the stake.
That's a machine gun word.
18, no, I am, because I'm getting very far. 1828, the Jewish community of Baghdad in Iraq are massacred. 1830, the Jews of Algiers are massacred. 1830, the throats of 400 Jews in Iran, in Tabriz, are cut. 1834, the Jews in half of the Israeli city of Safat, the Jews were raped, murdered, and expelled. 1839, in Mashhad, Iran, 36 Jews were murdered and 7 young girls kidnapped.
No problem. Even one, no problem. Even one is bad.
So
Even
what?
one is bad.
Why
Okay,
not?
so
Can
you
I-
listen
can
to-
I-
Okay,
can I
let him
finish?
finish. Let him finish. He's
Let
done
me
his
finish my
He's
point.
done his
Let me-
machine gun.
Existence under Islam was all good is a fanatic. Anyone who tells you it's all bad is a fanatic.
But no one claiming that.
So what
no one's
I'm pointing
claiming
out
that.
is
We're
long
claiming-
Adnan, let me speak. Long before the advent of Zionism, Jews were being persecuted in Muslim countries. Long before the advent of
Okay.
Zionism. So all I'm saying is Jewish persecution has been there from the inception. Now I absolutely admit there were Khulafa which treated the Jews
Can I
very well.
answer?
There were
Let me
Khulafa
respond
which
and you
treated
can
the
comment,
Jews
yeah.
very well. And
Okay.
Jews achieved.
My response is going to be very quick. Very
I
quickly.
just-
Wait,
I-
wait,
very quickly.
very quickly. Let me respond to his points. Sheikh, wait. This. Okay. All of this machine gun tactic done by Joseph, deliberately right at the end before he's leaving, is again, it tells a lot. It says a lot about his approach to this topic. Very quickly, all of these things he mentioned. Have you noticed that he jumped centuries?
Because they were
At
good times.
16 times in the past 1,000 years. Let me say something. 16 times. You mentioned 16 instances.
I've got some
in
instances.
the-
There's
in
many
the
more.
past
16. He was
1,000
counting
years.
actually.
Listen.
1,000 years.
Yes.
Yeah. The past 1,000 years from Jews all over the Muslim world. Now, do you know how many people were killed in 1066? You mentioned the battle in 1066.
Thousands.
Hundreds of thousands by the Crusaders, by fights everywhere. Life was worthless back in 1,000 years ago. You would be speaking to you were very worked up when you were listening off all this. You were very worked up when you were listening off this. You would be talking to me, I'd whip out my knife and kill you back 1,000 years ago. Everyone was killing each other. The fact that Muslims killed Jews in 1066 doesn't mean anything. Many millions more Jews were killed by Christians in 1066 than Muslims. Many.
Are you from a Mizrahi
There's
background?
no
No, no, I'm from
My-
Ashkenazic background.
Doesn't matter where it's from.
My-
Are you anti-Semitic? Why are you asking him his background? Wait,
No.
Is that
It's
a
relevant.
problem?
I assume you have lots of Mizrahi friends.
Can I quickly
No, I
respond?
don't know any Mizrahi people.
Can
whatsoever.
I? We will finish
So,
the
no,
discussion now.
Sorry. You don't know any
Anti-Semitic
Mizrahi
Wait,
at
wait,
all.
Part of his family.
We will finish the discussion very quickly.
How can you not know any Mizrahim?
I know.
Are you like? I mean, I assume you're Jewish.
What are you saying?
Yes,
Is he
yeah.
blind now? Is he Muslim?
I know.
Is he a status
I
symbol?
know.
The reason I ask is that every single Jewish school is full of Mizrahi
Not
Jews.
true.
Unless you went to
diverted,
Swedish
he's
school.
diverted.
No,
and
Tom
somewhere
Roberts-
else.
Tom Roberts is diverted.
Which
I was a school.
Why do you
gator.
divert the topic?
Okay, so I'm a Georgian.
Let's take
I'm
the
from County Durham.
Okay, wait. Can we?
I'm from Cape as well.
So
I'm just
Cape
gonna
said-
tell you-
I want to end on a positive note so that we don't look like enemies.
We're not enemies.
We are friends.
And we believe we should
had
be
a
in
very,
peace.
very good academic
But
discussion.
not as-
Thank you for this brother
Okay.
for his
there is a point. There
his
is a point.
contribution.
There is a point about
Thank you to
Zionism.
Joseph for his
Listen,
contribution. I'm
Adnan, there is a point about Zionism. Yeah, that's our point. That's our thing.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Closing.
Yeah,
I wanna close on a positive
Hold
note.
on a
Yes,
second. Just
yes.
before we close that. Yeah.
Yes.
Now the problem is, for example, when you said about all of these incidents, yeah, we'll say we condemn it. Simple. You say, do you have a problem? You have no problem to say that.
This
Hold
is
on a
what
second.
I was
Hold
going
on a
to
second.
Yeah.
But when you are supporting a country which is systematically a terrorist country, killing Muslims, killing people
daily basis.
on a daily basis, let alone it was established
Yeah.
by wiping cities, killing people, every single person in that city, women, children, every single man who was living
I
there.
have another
You see the
challenge.
point? When you are
I have-
supporting, hold on a second,
Yeah,
Adnan.
yeah.
When you are supporting that country, that indicates something else. For me, when you told, for example, when you say to me, do you support ISIS? I would say to you, no. If ISIS kills people, I'm against it. I'm against
Even
killing
if my father
innocent.
kills people, I
I'm
would say
against, even if
it's
my
all
own father will soon do that.
Except your former
But
Muhammad sallallahu
hold
alaihi
on-
wasallam
hold on a second.
killing the Jews.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
God. Yeah.
Look at you. Look at you.
Tried to assassinate him
Okay.
3 times.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh,
There we
I'm
go.
sorry,
There it is.
I'm
There
sorry
it
guys.
is.
You know
I'm gonna have to
Hold on a
come in
second.
now.
Hold on a
No.
second. Adnan.
In
Now
the
here,
history of the world,
I was-
Jews lived more peacefully under Muslim rule than Christian rule or any other rule.
No,
No,
Muslim
any other rule, not secular rule, not in
No.
England today. We have a better standard of life. You have more freedom here than you would in any khilafah.
It can be.
Everyone, do you know something? The
Wait,
standard of life has gone up for everyone.
Everyone.
Not
Yes.
just the Jews.
Yes.
Exactly.
Even-
And
you know
have you been to
something?
Saudi
That's
Arabia?
not-
Have you
that's
been to
not so
Qatar?
true. No, they
weren't.
Have you
That's
have you
not
seen
so
how they
true.
live?
Muhammad Umar
Wait.
banned the Jews from
Wait.
Saudi Arabia. I can't go
That's
there.
I wanna
not-
finish
that's
now.
not true.
I wanna
They
finish
want to
now.
ban
Sorry.
Shikita. They
No,
want
no,
to
no,
ban
you-
Shikita. They want to
Joseph-
In
ban
Arabia,
Shikita.
the Jews are banned from Arabia.
Okay,
That's not
We
right.
can't
ladies
do
and
that.
gentlemen,
That's not
thank you
true.
very
Can
much
I
for
get
listening.
recommendation?
Okay,
Thank you very
I'm
much.
gonna finish on a positive
true.
note.
This is a good
I'm
man.
gonna finish on a positive
Joseph,
note.
Joseph,
All the things.
You are misinforming people. That's
You're
not true.
misinformed. You're reading
Can a
facts
Jew
off
live in
the
Arabia?
internet.
Can a Jew live in Arabia, or did Umar ban the
Wait.
Jews from
Because
Arabia?
of-
What are they doing in Dubai?
Yes.
Look at you.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I mean,
What are you doing
I
in
mean
Dubai?
the peninsula of Arabia.
on
is
you.
What are
Arabia.
they doing in Jeddah?
Wait, this is
Hey, calm down.
This is not gonna end.
I've
Let
got
me-
a video of you
The
going.
point.
I've got a video of you going to
Joseph.
Golders Green.
Okay,
What
can
are
you-
they doing?
can
Hold
you-
on a second.
can you finish on
What
a
are they
positive note?
doing? You know, in
Can you
Al
finish?
Sharqiyya
Red
in
Cross Tesco.
Okay, let's
Listen,
finish.
in
Assalamu
Saudi
alaikum,
Arabia.
everyone. Thank you very much for listening.
Tesco.
Because this is not going to end. So, the point
is
I was
the
going to
point.
make was, despite all this, I mean,
Yeah.
Joseph came up with this list, and our brother here, he counted 16 cases, and even if that's true,
Yeah.
because we would have to go and study every single case, how many people died, where they died, how they died, who killed
Which
who,
is ridiculous.
why, which
What
is
does Haram
wait,
write about?
Joseph,
Sorry.
yeah. So
The Rambam was a
if we
friend.
okay,
A very good
I
friend.
can do one second, brother.
Give it to man.
1 second,
enough.
Joseph. 1
Read
second.
it.
Okay. I
read
can
many
do
of
the
the things.
same with what Israelis have done for the last 60 years with the Palestinians. I can make a list of all the massacres, and I can say, look
Sabra
at
and
these-
Shatila. Have you heard about that?
Yes,
It looks
Christians, Christians.
Sabra and Shatila, they were
Christians.
Okay, I think we will finish now. Thank you very much for listening. Nice talking
What
to
I
you.
would like to say.
Nice talking to
And
you.
I say
Can
one
I
more
just say-
thing.
Yeah, hold on.
Just-
I say one thing.
Let God
have
say
the
last
complete
thing.
respect for
Listen.
you. I think your intention
Adnan,
is
thank you.
sincere. I think you want peace
Thank you.
and good relations with
Yes,
Jews, and
we
we
do.
want them with
We
you
do.
as well.
We do. Absolutely.
And we may have a
Absolutely.
different view of history.
Our Muslim attitude.
No, there's only one view of history what happened, and you mentioned the Rambam. Do you know the Rambam was a massive physician? Yes, any doctor nowadays who Maimonides was, he'll tell
We
you of
talked
course it
about it.
was.
We talked
We've
about
already
it.
Do you
talked
know
about
who
it.
one of his biggest friends was?
Yes.
What was it? I forgot his name. He was a Muslim
Malik
physician.
Abdul.
He
Mal-
based his
Malik Abdul.
idea
He served under
on
Suleiman.
biology of the body at the time based on this guy's study.
With the greatest
No.
respect, I just read out Igeret Teman, where he writes to the Temani community, and he gives his real opinion of what it's like living under Islam, because he's addressing Jewish people.
Do you know he was
And-
a closest
No, so
friend and
just-
advisor to
No,
the Sultan?
I responded
He
to it
brought this,
because
he brought
Maimonides was actually persecuted by Al-Muwahidun. Al-Muhajj,
Al-Muhajj.
and he was writing about his experience.
I know,
which
I know.
I wouldn't blame
No.
him, but he was a physician to the Sultan.
He was a
a
advisor
physician to the king.
Sultan,
So
and the
how
Sultan
can he
liked
be
him. The
yes? So
Sultan liked him and
we
he
discussed
accepted
all
him
these
correct.
things. I think that's enough.
And I just
and
want
we've
to end
shaken
off saying
hands.
this:
Yeah.
Jews
And we
have
should
lived,
end the discussion.
Jews,
Let's shalom.
in the history of the
I
world.
think
Listen.
I want
Listen.
you both to talk next
Since
time.
the destruction of the, I say one thing. Since the destruction of the temple,
Yeah.
Jews have been
better than me.
persecuted immensely.
I agree.
Now,
This we agree on.
yeah,
Calm
Jews-
down, mate, calm down.
Okay.
Jews have been persecuted.
Shalom alaikum.
Wa
Shalom
alaikum salam.
alaikum.
Adnan, listen to guys.
Jews
You
have
need
been
to finish this point.
persecuted since the destruction of the temple. Jews
Yes,
have been persecuted
yeah.
in many countries, but the countries that had the most peace in, on a whole, of course, the
I
minority
agree,
of incidents
Muslims.
are
I
Muslim
agree, I
countries.
agree.
Now,
This is what I'm saying, you're
there
coming
was
late to
never
the
a
debate.
Holocaust in Muslim
I
countries.
agree. You're coming late to the debate. All I'm
So
saying
you're
is
agreeing. But you just read a list.
No, you said they were persecuting.
Listen to it.
30 people.
Just because
2
my
people
point
being
has
killed
my
by
point,
such a
Sheikh,
36 people.
Sheikh,
36.
Just let me respond. My point's very
You're
clear.
making a massacre
My-
out of 36 people,
my-
which is bad. I
my-
agree, which is bad. Even
my-
one is bad.
my
We
point-
believe-
But they condemn
Sheikh,
all the
Sheikh,
crimes
let
of
me finish.
Zionist country.
Let
Just
me
say it.
let me make my point because you're all like barking like. Just
No,
Don't
no,
say
we're not
barking.
barking. We're not
Well, we
barking.
can't say
We're
that's a
talking,
dog
we're
who
talking.
barks. We're not dogs, by the way.
Okay, you're all shouting. You're
We
shouting.
shout,
You're
okay,
shouting
we're
at me.
shouting, yes.
You're shouting. There's one of me and there's like 20 of you. So just let me make my point very simply.
Okay.
So I think that the existence of Jews historically was better under Islam than Christendom. Christians, personally, not all Christians, people like Kashmirs and Poland were very good to us. But
How
as a
good
whole,
was it? Can you explain how good it was?
in the sense that they invited us, they allowed us to live in the city. They
Oh,
allowed.
until the next one, told
I agree.
Khrushchev, who killed them all.
I agree. I
For
agree.
like for 10 years it was peace.
You're shouting, but I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying under Islam
No,
we had
when-
it better. My point was
Well,
very
when you say
simple.
better,
My-
what is better? What does it constitute?
so,
can you
within
see? Can you
so-
show me a picture?
So
An image
okay,
of better
a
life
better an image
under
of-
Islam.
So
Yeah.
in Christendom you would have court Jews. Jews that financed the monarchy, Jews that reached great positions of power and influence, but then there were the
In
Christian,
Christ- in Christendom?
in Christendom. So all
Where?
over Spain, most of the Jews. So I'll pull up. So
No.
most. So here in London you had what do you call him, Jacob of Lincoln. He was one of the
When was
richest
this?
men.
What period?
This would have been at the time of the. This would have been pre the first exposure, so probably the 10th century, 10th or 11th century. I don't know the exact date.
Okay.
So Jacob of Lincoln, he was the richest Jew in Europe. He lived in the UK, and when the Jews were initially kicked
You know
out of the UK,
how
Can I
the
just finish
Jewish
my point?
how
Can
the
I fin-
Jewish people
can
lived
I
there?
just- can I
Do
just
you know
try-
how they lived there?
Can I just try and finish my point? Can I like literally? I'm agreeing with most of what you're saying.
But how did they live?
Can-
Even when he was rich.
Adnan, I let you speak. I let you speak. Just let.
No,
all-
I
all-
want,
let you
I want
speak as
people to
well. They let
understand
you
the
speak
living
as well.
standards. How did the Jewish people, despite being rich, because they were giving money on interest, they were dealing in usury. The Jewish people mainly were, the main business was giving loans to the kings and dignitaries and nobles, and that's how they made a living. And in return, they were protected by the nobles, and the kings.
Yep.
And when that protection was lifted, even if it was not lifted, when they were giving this usury, how were the Jewish people living?
I agree. Not good.
How were they
not
living?
Good. Not good. I
Not
agree.
good, yeah?
Killed,
Even
they
the
burned
richest.
themselves down
How
in
were
the
the
tower.
richest
But
Jews? How
in
were the
York,
richest
they
Jews
burnt-
living in Islam?
So in York, so this is what I'm trying to say. In York, they burnt Jews at the stake. I don't know of any instances, but that's because I'm not a scholar.
No Holocaust.
Of Jews
No
being
Holocaust.
burnt at the stake under Islam.
There would be no
So my
Holocaust
point
in-
is,
under
My point
Islam.
is really, really simple.
There was never in the history. Jews
My
burning the
point
state.
is really simple. Under Islamic rule as a whole was better for Jews than Christian rule. Never disputed that. Said that consistently from the beginning. My point is, even though it was better, it wasn't perfect. There were massacres. There was persecution.
It was never perfect.
Jews paid
Imperfect
Jews
world.
paid the jizya to
The
be
world is
saghirun,
imperfect.
to be, you say subdued. I think humiliated is a better example.
I
Jews
think
were-
we're repeating the debate
Yeah,
now.
yeah, we
Can
are
we shake
repeating.
hands again? Shalom
Okay,
alaikum.
wa alaikum
Let's finish
salam.
now.
Alaikum salam.
Let's
Assalamu
make a
alaikum.
move.
Peace be on all.